All right, 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 all right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? My name is Pete, but you probably already knew that. But in case you didn't, you guys are watching the one, the only Paid to Drive, one of the only channels on YouTube, trying to put a little bit more of that money back in your pocket. That's right, everybody. I hope you're all having a great morning this Tuesday, June 4th. That's right, everybody. And where are my California drivers at? California. If you are a California driver, comment 333. If you're not and you're from somewhere else, let us know where you're from. But if you're not a California driver and you still want to listen in anyway, it's probably beneficial because this may be happening in more places, guys. I need you all to pay very, 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 very close attention. Wow, we actually have a lot of California people here. Before I go any further, everyone, okay? I have to give a huge shout out because I wouldn't have known about this because I'm not a California resident, but I would have not known about this if it was not for the user on Twitter who's a very loyal viewer of mine, Entre Courier. He actually has his own website. And he said about an hour ago at 9:39 a.m. my time, he said, at Pay to Drive Pete, any thoughts on how California legislation will affect us? And he actually linked his actual website article link that he wrote. So at the end of this, please stay to the end of the video, of course. But at the end of this video, if you guys have a Twitter account, I highly recommend you follow him on Twitter. Does anybody here have a Twitter? Comment 555 if you have a Twitter, 666 if you don't. Follow him at Entre Courier. So I'm giving you a monster shout out for this, Entre Courier. I don't know if you could see that, but there he is. So anyway, let's move along here. So, I mean, there's really no easy way to slice this. You guys could follow along with the article. The link is in the description. So it says, how will AB5, California's gig economy legislation, impact us as delivery contractors? AB5, California's gig economy legislation, could completely change the landscape for delivery contractors in California, with a possible ripple effect nationwide. The legislation has already passed the state assembly and is expected to pass into law. Now, this is the important part, guys, here. So please, please, please listen up. If signed into law in its current state, most gig economy workers would be classified as employees in the state of California. This could have major repercussions across the country, as most of the major delivery companies are based in California. Just because a lot of the major delivery companies are based in California doesn't mean that it can't affect other places. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to say. So a quote from Richard Menegello, a partner focused on the gig economy at Fisher and Phillips. That's where, if I'm at a company right now where you need to be in a wait and see position because we don't really know what things are going to look like. Unfortunately, because these apps are so new, it's kind of what we're dealing with. The legislation is based on last year's California Supreme Court dynamics decision defining more who could be classified as an employee. It establishes an ABC test in which a position needs to meet all three of the following tests to qualify as an independent contractor. The worker is free of control from the employer, both in contract and in action. The employer cannot control schedule or method of doing the work. The worker is doing work that is outside of the employer's usual business. The work being done involves work normally performed by a business or established trade. How is this different from past interpretations? There are a couple of things that are significant about the ABC test that are very different than past interpretations. Much of the federal government uses a 10-point test where they weigh each of the factors. They use the use of this test is subjective, and a company can cross the line in some areas. But if those areas do not outweigh other factors, as in the case of the National Labor Relations Board decision on Uber earlier this year, they can still rule that a worker is an independent contractor. The California legislation narrows the decision down to 3 specific tests, and every single test must be met for a worker to be qualified as an independent contractor. How would these tests impact the delivery industry? I can imagine that if this becomes law in California, the delivery companies would insist that they that they meet all three laws, and that it ultimately would come down to a court challenge. I've even said this in the past. This is me just kind of chiming in, that the courts, when they see all of these cases that drivers have opened up against these companies, especially Uber, the courts are probably like, what the heck is going on? These companies are trying to control the drivers way more than they're supposed to. You know what I mean? So keep in mind, so this is back to the article, keep in mind that this is only California law. This legislation does not have any jurisdiction outside of the state. However, with many gig companies headquartered in California, if California does force them to classify delivery workers as drivers, these companies may make the decision themselves on a nationwide basis. Do the delivery companies meet these tests? Do delivery companies control your work? This is the one area where they are most likely to meet the test. In the National Labor Relations Board decision on Uber, the freedom provided that Uber allowed their drivers in when and where to work was significant enough that the lack of company control was considered to outweigh what they considered more minor violations. I wrote here that from my observations, Uber was very careful not to cross the lines. In contrast, none of these companies really exert control. I would say that of the companies I know the most about, GrubHub is the most at risk due to recent efforts at cracking down on cherry picking. Remember that, guys? What's been going on lately? While their contract does not allow for company control, their practice could be demonstrated to do otherwise, and the timing of their actions could work against them. Yeah, exactly. Are delivery workers performing work that is different than the company that contracts them? This is going to be the tough one for most of these companies. They claim that they are not actually delivery companies, but software companies. In the truest form of gig economy work, you could make a case that all they are doing is connecting diners with contractors to make the delivery. However, now, before I go on, keep in mind that right there is what their business model seems to be based on. You know what I mean? It makes sense. However, going back to the article, the very fact that the fees paid to the drivers are not tied to the delivery fees paid by the restaurants will make this one a difficult test to prove. GrubHub may have the best opportunity here, as my understanding is they were initially not interested in providing delivery, that their model was to provide lead generation for restaurants, that they provided delivery services as a means for restaurants to ramp up to where they could do their own delivery. However, recent national contracts with chains that have no intentions of ever providing delivery, or even with pizza places that already have their own delivery service, might work against them here. This section would all boil down to whether or not the courts can be convinced that these delivery companies are not actual delivery companies. So hold on, let me see something here, because this is a very, very long article. So I'm gonna let the rest of you guys go and read this article, because it literally just keeps going on and on and on and on and on here, but in a good way. In a good way. So Entre Courier, honestly, I have to give you a huge applause for this, but I want to get back to the chat here. So by the way, please, like I said, please go follow Entre Courier at Entre Courier on Twitter. I don't know if he has an Instagram. You can go, feel free to check. What's up, Jesse? Freebird, Marissa Hallinan, Susan Langle, Allo Jr., Brittany Welsh, Uncle Barney, John Spalding, Be Vlogging Life. Yeah, exactly. So it's just what really bums me out here is this is like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is it's like this could be both good and bad. Okay, if these companies in California now start turning us into employees, firstly, if you guys thought that you could be deactivated quick currently, well, when you're an actual employee, they will be watching your every move. Okay, driver specialists will have no choice but to be on top of all of us that much more. Let's put it that way, at least on GrubHub. What's up, Michael Schmidt? You know, so hold on a second. I got alarms going off over here. So this is going to, lead to way, way more micromanagement. So sure, we might be more eligible for benefits, things of that nature. However, think of any job where you've had a manager, a boss looking over your shoulder, watching your every move. Something that I personally just cannot stand. My managers and myself, have never gotten along because it's like a manager tells you to do something one way and it's not necessarily the most efficient way. Now, I'm not saying I'm a genius by any means, but sometimes like my brain would just program it and be like, but that doesn't make sense to go from A to C. It makes more sense to go from A to B. But a manager just tells you, well, just do it. Let me ask you, let's just take a giant poll here, okay? Comment 333 if you think becoming an employee is a better thing with these companies. Comment 444 if you are happy being an independent contractor. I want every single person here in the chat to vote. We have 73 people. I want to see all 73 people vote, okay? I would comment 444, to be perfectly honest. Think Walmart, employee, you're hired and fired. Exactly. The turnover rate is so quick. And let me tell you, it's going to get even quicker if you guys are employees. Does that mean now that we would have to interview for our own job? You know what I mean? If you want to be an employee, work at Pizza Hut. There you go. And guys, we are going for 150 likes on this video. Comment 111 if you smashed the like. Comment 222 if you haven't yet. We've got 69 people here. We've got 10 likes. Let's see. I want everybody, all 68 of you now, to smash that like button. Allo Jr., thank you for the info, Pete. No problem. Everyone say thank you to Allo Jr. for that $2 super chat. That was very, very nice. I really appreciate that. But for those of you guys just joining us, I have a link in the description down below that explains all of this in like superior great detail. It was just way too long of an article for me to read. It would be like a 25-30-minute video here. But the fact of the matter is, legislation is going on in California, okay, where they are trying. Actually, the Rideshare Hub just posted a video about this as I just got the notification. This is what everyone's talking about today. I'm sure a lot of YouTubers are going to be talking about this. But basically, in a nutshell, California is trying to get a law passed that all gig economy independent contractors are going to have to become employees. Okay, because of all of the court cases that have been going on, suing GrubHub, suing DoorDash, suing Uber, you know what I mean? Again, this is the first I'm hearing of all of this updated stuff today. I'm literally reading verbatim from this article from Entre Courier, who's one of my viewers. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of hope that this doesn't happen, man. You know, I'm not going to lie. I really, really hope it doesn't. So with that being said, guys, please go follow on Twitter, Entre Courier. There he is, at Entre Courier. His link is in the description down below, along with the article that he wrote. He has his own website where he posts, you know, articles about stuff, and he writes things about the food economy, gig economy. You know, I hear you, John. I mean, I've always been envious of people that live out in California. I've always wanted to be out there. You know, I hate being an East Coast guy. I like the weather out there, to be honest. But anyway, please go follow him. Check out his stuff. And we'll see what happens from here. Here's my comment question of the day for all of you guys just joining us. Like I said before, would you rather be an employee or stay an independent contractor? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Seriously, because this is a very serious situation. Because if California passes this, you can guarantee other states are going to be like, you know what? We got to do this too. We have to do this too. And then it's going to be a ripple effect. So we're going to have to see what happens. Everyone go subscribe to Heather. She's doing a big giveaway at 500 subscribers, I believe. There you go. Everybody go subscribe to Heather. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me right now, guys. We'll have to see how this pans out. I'll if you guys want me to give you updates on it, I most certainly will. But also, especially, I know it's not out there just yet, but please go sign up on it right anyway. The Get Upside app. How many of you guys have this? The gas app. Comment 333 if you have it. Comment 444 if you don't. A lot of my West Coast people don't have it yet, but just download it, sign up, because when it comes available, you'll be able to save money on every gallon of gas that you pay for. Basically, you go get your gas, you print out your receipt, you scan it with the app, and they give you like 20-30 cents back a gallon. And if you refer people with your link or your referral code on the Get Upside app, then people, when they get gas using your code, you get paid and they get paid. So it's a win-win for everything. Literally, no one loses. You're very welcome, Susan. I hope did you guys find this useful? If you found this to be useful, definitely hit that like button down below. I greatly appreciate it. So That's basically it. Join us on the Facebook group, the Delivery Driver Lounge. I don't know how many of you guys are signed up on there. Comment 999 if you are. Comment 101010 if you're not. And of course, guys, go get yourself one of these shirts, guys. Get that money. Get that honey. Available now in the Paid to Drive merch store. These things are already been selling like crazy, and I literally make 76 cents, I think, per shirt. So it's not like I'm getting rich selling these. If I'm lucky, I'll make $5. It's not about the money. I just think that people have been asking. No, I don't think people have been asking for these shirts for so long, and I finally got them made up. So link is in the description for that. And that's it, guys. That's it for me. So get that money, get that honey. Keep hustling, keep bustling. We're going for 150 likes on this video. Comment 111 if you smashed the like, 222 if you haven't yet. We've got 24 likes now. Can we go for 25, maybe 26, maybe 27, maybe 30? Can we go up to 35? Maybe we can go up to 40. Maybe we can go up to 4 million. 4 million sounds like a good number. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Right here on what channel, everybody? Paid to Drive. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you a little bit later on. Peace. Subscribe with those notifications on. Later.